59 Novembers ago, three men lit a candle. They call that candle the Progressive Liberal Party.
Its mission: the PLP will seek the mandate of the people of the Bahamas to translate the social revolution brought about by the realities of solid advancement in the fields of education, health development, and social welfare.
According to one of the founding fathers, Henry Milton Taylor, the PLP was formally established in November 1953 by three men.
They were Henry Milton Taylor, a junior member of the House of Assembly for Long Island and Ragged Island; William W. Cartwright, a member of the House of Assembly for Cat Island; and Cyril St. John Stevenson, a reporter on the staff of the Nassau Guardian newspaper.
Taylor reported receiving a call from Cartwright and Stevenson, asking him if he would go along with them in forming and establishing a political party. Taylor said he readily agreed, because long before that, he had asked Cartwright to help him form a political organization. But he said Cartwright was hesitant. The three men began meeting regularly at Taylor's home on East Street, opposite the police barracks. They discussed the pros and cons of establishing a political party.
Recognizing that this was not the first time that the organization of a political party was attempted in the Bahamas, the men decided to invite several other men to join them, but only 6 men accepted the invitation. They knew the obstacles the other organizers of political parties had faced, causing them to abandon their plans. They decided that their organization would not meet the same fate.
Henry Milton Taylor, a 6-foot 2-inch Conky Joe, who in 1949 had won a seat for Long Island in the general elections, became the party's chairman. William W. Cartwright, a real estate agent and also a member of the House of Assembly for Cat Island, became its treasurer, and the fearless Nassau Guardian newspaper reporter, Cyril St. John Stevenson, became the charter secretary general.
The officers announced the formation of the Progressive Liberal Party and published its platform in the Nassau Tribune and Nassau Guardian. The first platform was entitled "A Challenge to be Met." The platform covered a wide range of subjects, proposing better political, economic, and improved conditions for the people of the colony.
During the first few months of the party's existence, the membership progressed well in Nassau. Then it was brought to the attention of Chairman Taylor that he should establish branches in the Out Islands. The very first Out Island branch was established in Bimini, under the chairmanship of Theodore Saunders.
But it was not until a young British-trained lawyer, Lyndon O. Pendling, returned home that very same year and joined the fledgling party that the party really took on steam. With Randall F. Fox, Arthur D. Hanna, Milo B. Butler, Sr., Clarence A. Bain, Samuel Isaacs, and many, many other men and women, they planned and strategized to free their people from colonialism. Back then, racial segregation was a way of life in the Bahamas, and colored people, as the term was used back then, accepted the status quo. There were hotels, restaurants, theaters, and other places colored people were not permitted as guests. There were schools where colored children could not attend, and there were churches where colored people could not sit in the same pews as whites.
In January 1954, the PLP held its first public meeting at the home of Richard E. Ferguson, a merchant in Coconut Grove. That same year, the party held its first conference at the Aurora Lodge Hall on Charlotte Street South and adopted the party's flag, official crest, salutation, official song, and party colors.
In 1955, a PLP delegation flew to London for discussions with the British Secretary of State. Also that year, a National General Council was formed, encompassing representatives from each constituency. A women's branch headed by Georgina Simnett, Eugenia Lockhart, Madge Brown, and the Hasty Sisters met regularly at the Silver Slipper Club on East Street and Mason's Addition. Its main function was to raise money for the party.
Elections were called in 1956. As the 1956 elections neared, the Bay Street Boys were ready to push the panic button. They went so far as to call in members of South Florida-Dade County's Sheriff's Office on the pretext that a Negro Communist Party was trying to get control of the Bahamas. PLP candidates campaigned feverishly and tirelessly. They had no money to finance grocery baskets, free liquor, public picnics, and fish fries that the white man used to encourage votes. They had only their dauntless zeal and unswerving conviction that their cause was just. Using the Baptist church leaders' tactics, they began to pass the hat at public meetings, and the brothers and the sisters gave what they could, but not enough, to fight the Outer Island campaigns. But the PLP was making itself felt.
In Nassau, the Bay Street Boys were offering money. They tore the pounds and 5-pound notes in half and gave one half to the voter before election date, when he agreed to kick the secret ballot and vote openly. After the election, the voter would claim the entire note by matching his half retained by the political Bay Street boss. In West End, Grand Bahama, 2 candidates were to be nominated to contest the election. One was a white Bay Street merchant, and the other a black Grand Bahamian man for the PLP. On election eve, the white candidate paid the black PLP candidate £1,000 to drop out of the contest. On election day, the white candidate was acclaimed the winner unopposed.
However, in the 1956 election, 6 PLP candidates were elected. They were Lyndon Pinling, the eloquent orator, and Randall Fox, the labor leader. In the Southern District of Nassau, Sammy Isaacs, the grade 3 plumber in the Eastern District. Milo B. Butler Sr., the salesman and political firebrand in the Western District. Cyril St. John Stevenson, the fearless newspaper journalist, and Clarence A. Bain, the Bible-quoting spongeman and salesman in Andros. They were called the Magnificent Six. Following the 1956 election, the PLP members of the House of Assembly took on the United Bahamian Party like never before. They kept the pressure on the UBP, including the many issues relating to Freeport, Grand Bahama.
In 1958, a dispute broke out over the carrying of visitors from the new Nassau International Airport at Windsor Field. Tour companies had suddenly been formed by the Bay Street Boys and had been given the monopoly on the business, edging out the taxicab drivers. On Sunday morning, January 12, 1958, the false social and economic facade of the Bahamas was shaken to its foundations. On that day, colonial arrogance and the Free Trade Union solidarity locked horns in what was surely the most dramatic and most successful general strike in the Bahamas.
The original dispute surfaced on November 1, 1957, as a result of governments granting to the white tour companies an exclusive franchise to operate transportation services between the new Nassau International Airport and the city. So in desperation, on Saturday, November 1, 1957, the taxicab union, under the leadership of Clifford Darling, Lochinvar Lockhart, Jimmy Shepard, Cyril Ferguson, and Wilbert Moss, blocked all traffic to and from the National International Airport for hours, while the Commissioner of Police, Edward J. H. Colchester Wims, and his officers looked on helplessly.
On Sunday afternoon, November 2nd, the taxicab union called on the Bahamas Federation of Labor for assistance. The Airport, Airline, and Allied Workers Union, under the instructions of Cadwell Ambrister, Clement Pinder, and Anthony Roberts, responded with a sympathetic 2-hour strike. This action achieved a truce during which the taxi union and tour companies were to negotiate a peaceful settlement to their grievances. But at the end of the truce, the government, with its peculiar bias, supported the white tour companies.